Good morning. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com.
And I'm Brittany, and together we bring you Morning Call Express. So we're seeing mixed markets around the world. Europe is closed, Asia shares mostly lower, and our futures pointing to a slightly higher open this morning, prompting a lot of people to ask the question if that was the correction, Scott.
I think it's a valid question because everyone was calling for the world to collapse, and then all of a sudden last week the oscillators were minus 70, and then we had some major reversals in some key indices. So as of now, all you know is that last week was a nice calculated trade. The red dog reversal panned out. There were some other type of patterns that panned out, and now we need to see if the market's going to show commitment. You look at the pattern of the Qs because technology has been the focus. You know, you had this head and shoulders top pattern right here. Okay, that triggered a move to the downside. And then if you look right around the 200-day after a big move lower, it made sense to try and find some type of reversal scenario. Okay, and we did. You saw it right here. We posted the chart, 83.91. If you covered some shorts here and got a little long, you've made a nice little 3-day trade. But now you need to see, can it digest above? Can we stay above, just say 85.63 for a session or so? And if that's the case, maybe we break this minor downtrend, but then you have another downtrend. So, you know, still a lot to prove here in technology. There are a lot of bears out there actually also saying that, you know, this could be a bigger, okay, head and shoulders pattern where this is your left shoulder, this is your head, and now this bounce back is creating the right shoulder. So, you know, just take it easy. If that's going to be the case, then the Q should not get back above 88. That's where the bears are going to have to reject the strength. But as of right now, little commitment could go a long way for a bit more upside.
Meanwhile, the S&P was able to reclaim both the 8 and 21-day EMA. What are the levels you're watching there?
Oh, same type of thing. This didn't actually make a new low. It made a little bit of like a triple bottom right around 18.15, and we've seen that move. So now you have to see if there's commitment. You go to the chart of the spiders, and you will see this is the range that we were in, where you had a breakout or a fake breakout to the upside right into an outside day that led to a move to the bottom side of the range, small bounce and pow. Then here is your 3-day low here at 181.50. This was your spot to perhaps cover some shorts, get long when you came back above this 2-day pivot. And now we got to see what happens here. What happens here? Do we get commitment? In order to get commitment, you know, first you have a micro spot here at 185.56, and then you have Wednesday's gap. If we stay above this area, just say 184.70 to 185.20 for a few sessions and some charts build, it's going to be hard for the bears to growl, and then perhaps we trade higher. If we give this back, you know, within the first 2 days real quickly, then perhaps their claims of a low volume holiday snapback is all that it was, then, you know, we'll see that's the case too. So as a trader, let's just measure the commitment. I think the oversold bounce happened. We're back to neutral now. We have to see whether or not it either builds or fails.
Well, you know, one sector that's been extremely weak has been the bios. You take a look at the IBB, which has been extremely weak. I was actually able to regain the 200-day. So if it can hold that could mean some real stabilization there.
Yes, if it could stay above the 200-day for a few sessions and build, then maybe some shorts cover and some people come in and get some confidence on bottom feeding. That's why if we talk about momentum sectors, if you sell when it breaks the 8 and the 21-day in any sector, then you have the luxury of testing the 200, which usually is a lot lower. So if you look at the chart of the IBB, you'll see that, you know, up here is when it lost the 8 and the 21 days. So if you were riding this thing for multiple months or even a year or so, that was a sell signal, that was a sell signal, so you had the luxury of testing it down here. So now the question is, was this just an oversold bounce? And at this point, nobody truly knows. All you know is if you got long here at 211, okay, when it reclaimed this pivot for an RDR, great. Then if you saw this higher low and you traded it higher, there you go. Now it's got to stay above what is the 200-day now? The 200-day I think is around 219. So it's got to stay above 219. If it stays above 219, maybe this descending channel resolves a little bit higher, but then you're going to have a lot of resistance along the way. So just 219-ish is your line in the sand. That's that pivot.
All right, well, let's dive into some individual stock action here and check in on Facebook, which has been looking okay, but has been lacking some real momentum. It does have earnings coming up on Wednesday. Scott, I know you don't typically take stocks into earnings, so how are you approaching it now?
I'm just taking trades. Last week there were some good trades there. There wasn't much power on Thursday. I'm going to wait till Wednesday, see where it is. You look at the chart, you will see there's been some clues. Here is this small head and shoulders top when it broke this little trend line. Gave you, that signal that it's going to be heading lower. It went lower and still not able to take out intermediate resistance. It failed there on Thursday. So with that being said, I am not long it overnight. I've been trying to stay long this thing since this bottoming area. So see if it holds above Thursday's low of 58.72 and maybe tries again. But this whole area I don't think gets tested until Wednesday's earnings. So we'll go into a bigger strategy then.
And we know a lot of money has been in mega cap tech. Let's check in on Intel, which issued a better than expected earnings report last week. It has been inching higher into its 8-day EMA. What does Intel's action mean for a stock like Microsoft?
Well, Intel, first of all, did not just get up and go on the report. It was solid. They tried to sell it down. It couldn't. So I think money's staying in there. So if you're still in Intel, I think you stay the course. Look at Intel. You see the chart. It's hard to find momentum. There was a nice trade down here. Above 27.40. I think it continues. You really got to look at the monthly chart to get a better clue of what's going on here. This is a huge panel or pattern or channel, whatever you want to call it. It could see 30. This is the same type of channel I saw before the Microsoft move. So anyway, I think I like that there. You go to Microsoft, it did get hit a little bit on the IBM news, but held in there. This is the daily chart here. Closed off the lows, nice little wedge pattern here. If they deliver earnings, you have your pivot here at 40.60 and then 41. I think they're trying to keep Microsoft in the game because there's not a lot of places that is comfortable to have some money there.
How about Solar City? This one's been trying to build a base above its 200-day. Is there a trade here?
I was in this last week, and then again, you cannot buy a lot of these Momo names higher, or you have to be very selective when you do so. And this looks like the same type of pattern like a lot of things. Just to show you the example of the pattern, you look here, big move lower, some stabilization with the red dog reversal type pattern, a quick move up, which is the oversold bounce. Now it has to go sideways for a little bit and show you some commitment. So I'd like to see this trade above, just say 56 for a little while. If it were, then maybe we get another trade. But as of right now, these type of names have a lot to prove. They've come back a lot, but it doesn't mean that the low has to be in. It's above the 200-day. Let's see if there's sideways commitment and do the same thing on all those momentum names. You had your oversold bounce. Now you need to see some commitment before you commit any future funds.
And as a reminder, Mike Lee will be hosting a free trading seminar on Saturday, April 26th in Boca Raton, Florida from 9 a.m. to noon. He'll be sharing his strategies and how he uses to trade the morning on a daily basis, how he's been able to build such a long and successful career, and how to build a successful business trading plan. So if you're in the area, Mike and the team would love to see you stop by. And happy trading, everyone. Have a great day.